record. Okay, so yay, aloha everyone. I'm Kamaile. My Thursday Wellness with Mana call. It's really about sharing stories in regards to the products that we found. The person that invited you has really reached out in such a way that they want to share a little part of their heart. They want to share a little part of what has been changing their life in many different ways and their family's life. This is really a big deal for us to reach out to be able to share these products with you and to share the science. So today I've been reading this beautiful book called Building Your Story Brand. And I've been doing this call now for, gosh, at least the last 3 months or so. And I've really been just diving into the science, which we'll do here today. But I really got to understand that we all hear information and process information much better when it's relatable to a story. So hopefully I'll be able to convey that and to really share with you not only my personal story but also the story of the products and what's going on, the story of what's going on within our bodies. So bear with me as I have changed things up a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So let's see here. So again, I'm Kamaile, and I am a beautiful partner with somebody who's invited you here today in this gorgeous business where we get to share about our personal journey, our health journeys, which so many of us have either started, want to start, or are in the midst of it in some way, relationship or form, based upon our own stories that have really come at us. And that, I think, is the key thing here, is that what we thought was scripted into our story as far as genetics go, we are coming to find out, and we're going to discuss that a little bit today, about why that doesn't have to be our story, that we, through the study of epigenetics and really kind of science backing it, we get to make choices for ourselves that not only affect our bodies in the here and now and our environment and the way that our choices show up for us, but we get to then let that pass on, our healthier choices passed on to our generations to come. So we're in such a pivotal place in our lives to really make some sweet differences, especially with science being able to catch up with it is such a great time for us to really invest back into our health. So a little bit about my story is that about a year and a half ago, I was introduced to something that was like, okay, I'll go and listen. I joke all the time that I went more for the glass of wine with my girlfriends, because community is everything, right? Than I did to actually open my heart and my mind to the information I was about to hear and that you're about to hear tonight or today. And I had my arms crossed and I was like, you guys can't tell me anything. I come from a Lomi background. I've been either planting my own herbs, or I have a plethora of very well-researched herbs in my cupboard that I was, taking at the time. I just wasn't finding that it was doing enough. I was still swimming, trying to pull my head above water, if you will, to just get wrap my head around my emotions that were coming to me, hormonally. I was stressed out because I no longer had any source of income, because I chose to stay at home, which meant that my partner then was extremely stressed out, being the breadwinner. Definitely struggled with his own health journey in regards to his relationship with alcohol. There were so many things that were, I literally, nobody knows that part of us, right? Nobody knows that we're just really praying for something, whether it's this aspect of our lives or that aspect or another. But when I heard this information, and I hope that you hear it in the same light that I did, it really made a huge difference. I'm getting chicken skin right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And I wanted to share with you this slide because the more research that I do, it's, like I said, it's all about relationships. It's about the food that we eat. It's about the time off that we take, the vacations that we long for, you know, that, you know, like the spa experience, the girlfriends, the guy friends getting together and really bonding in relationships really is a huge part of our health journey. Exercising, and you know, at the end of the day, if we have all of these things but we can't support it, and we're stressed out financially, and we're you know, going below water actually, because we're getting in more and more debt just to live up this lifestyle, what's the point? Because ultimately that robs from our health as well. So as we move on, I put this slide in here because this is what reality truly feels like sometimes. It's like we went from, you know, the family and the community to just like everything that's coming out of social media. That's our community now, is our social media platform. Oftentimes, you know, the food choices that we have in front of us are fast food and immediate gratification because we just don't have enough energy. We're just stressed out at the end of the day about this, that, or the other thing, or we're overworked. You know, we're on our phone and our computers at the same time, just trying to make ends meet. This is not far from a lot of our lives, guys, not far at all. And so what I'm about to share with you and what we came to ask you to listen to is hopefully going to change some of those choices and just be a tool. That's all it is it's just a tool for you to use to put one foot in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other, so that you just keep on making healthier choices so that we can live a place where we're enjoying this type of lifestyle. So my favorite quote is, let's build wellness rather than treating disease. So let's make the choices today that it shows up in our lives tomorrow, and again the next day, and again the next day. So our life is a process of choices that we get to make, and we are in control of that. So epigenetics is really the study of exactly what I just spoke to you. It's about knowing that 97% of our genetic code can actually be changed through the choices that we make. Choices such as meditation, choices such as diet and nutrition that we're talking about today, environmental factors, ways to de-stress, sleep quality is huge, relationship and community we talked about. And we do this through a word called biohacking. So biohacking, as a Native Hawaiian and somebody who just really resonated with all things natural, I did not jive with this word at all. It was very foreign to me. It felt like something that it was, you know, conjured up in some lab that was, you know, not related to who I am indigenously to my land. But when I understood that biohacking really means that you're taking control of your inner and outer environment to make your genetics actually express themselves in healthier ways, I was all on board. I was like, I have been a biohacker longer than I could probably, am probably aware of. I've always been one to make choices that are healthier and healthier, and always looking to expand my, my horizon as far as knowledge goes, to really make my world not only the easiest, the healthiest, and creating the most memories, right, with our loved ones. That's ultimately, at the end of the day, I say that at the end of this slides presentation, that's what we have. So today we're going to look at our health span and how all of this plays a part in, and our choices play a part in this health span. So we're going to look at our lifestyle. We're going to look at our environment. I always help to coach in my wellness program that our environment, you know, not only the environment within our home that surrounds us, but also the environment that we connect with as far as our land. Are we eating of the local resources that we have, that live and breathe and take in the air and the water the same way that we do? That is hugely important. And talking about genetic code, this is exactly what we have the power of changing, guys. And whether or not you knew that before this call or not, this is something that you can look into as far as not being a victim to you know, anything that might be coming at us, like I said, genetically, heart problems, cancer, you know, ADHD, I mean, all of these things are just, we're riddled with so many stories that we can actually, if we stop for a moment, look at the tools that we have in front of us and make those choices. So that's what we're doing today. So the first thing I'd like to introduce to you is what is called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress, as it shows here, is an imbalance between the production of free radicals, okay, and we'll go into that in a moment, due to the numerous daily exposures and assaults that are attacking us. And I'm talking free radicals start to, and oxidative stress starts to affect us when we eat. Just the mastication process actually causes an imbalance of free radicals. The cell phone towers, too much exercise, too little exercise, not enough month at the end of the money, as our friend Daisy likes to say. All of these and our body's inability to actually detoxify these harmful effects really start to break us down. And this is what is considered the first theory of aging. And so when we start to look at how oxidative stress plays a huge part in our systems, then we can look at, okay, well, what's the antidote for that? What can we do before that so that we don't become this? This is a visual representation of oxidative stress, guys. Taking this healthy apple to this healthy cell, you put it on the counter, gosh, for seconds, honestly, and you cut it in half, you can see that it starts to brown. That is what's happening when oxygen hits these nice healthy molecules. They're impaired, and so they start to actually attack the cells. You know, these free radicals start to attack our cells, as it's shown here in the second slide on the bottom. And then ultimately what we don't want to get to, guys, is what is depicted here on the right-hand side, which is the demise of our cell because of oxidative stress. We know that that basically if our cells either divide, we're looking at things like cancer, we're looking at bigger illnesses and diseases. If we see that the cells actually start to die off, a lot of times those show up in cognitive inabilities to function, ALS, Alzheimer's, you know, that type of thing. So dementia, I should say. So what can we do to bring our cells back to this normal cell here? Well, today we're going to talk about activating. Okay, so this is really key. Activating is much different than supplementation, and I'll point that out in a second. What we're doing here and what we're about to show you is how we can activate our cell signaling pathways to actually affect our cells to get back to that healthy apple, to get back to that healthy cell. Instead of actually just, you know, processing with foods, we're going to actually kind of go in the back door, if you will, and talk to that cell through certain pathways that we have discovered throughout our bodies, and the way that our cells and bodies talk to each other biochemically. We're going to activate that pathway so that we can turn on our body's natural ability to actually be the health that we were before we started to age. At the ripe age of 20 is when we start to decline, guys. So how we're doing this is really important, and it's 5 particular herbs that were discovered back in what, 2000, probably earlier than 2005, because in 2005 Dr. McCord and his team of doctors actually came out with what the ABC Primetime Investigative Report aired, because what they were claiming was that they could reduce oxidative stress by 40% within 30 days. And this was all due to 5 synergistically blended herbs to be able to, again, activate our immune systems. So John Quinones went in and said, we're going to take you down. We're going to show you, prove it to me. Took his blood test, guys, within 2 weeks, his blood actually reduced to the interview says to that of a baby by 45% within 2 weeks, which, you know, we claim that we can get it down at least by 40% within 30 days. I've heard up to 70% within 120 days. We are actually activating our bodies to really turn on our body's ability to make our own antioxidants. And let's talk about that for a second. So before we do, I am so proud to announce and to lock arms with this company. I mean, literally my heart is just overjoyed that I was invited to hear this information, and that I'm able to really continue to share and change people's lives, to really share and change about share about how I'm changing my life through a company called LifeVantage, because we are at the forefront of nutrigenomics. So what is nutrigenomics? Nutrigenomics is the science and study of the effect of nutrients taken from and natural compounds on our genetic expressing. So that's what we're doing when we're biohacking our body with LifeVantage. We're actually utilizing our nutrients in such a way that we're actually activating it to change our genetic expression. So that's key. The way we do that is not only through our flagship product that I mentioned here, through all natural herbs coming together in our NRF2 flagship product, but we have a family of anti-aging and really cellular stimulating approach to really bettering our health, so we can get back to that apple, if you will, again. So this is called the 3 theories of aging, is what we're going to go through, and this is through our Protandim Tri-Synergizer. This is only one of the aspects of how we biohack with LifeVantage. So this question comes up all the time. Why is our diets and supplements not enough? Kylie, I'm already doing that. I eat really well. I run, I exercise. I'm trying to be as active as possible. I have, a plethora, like you did, of, vitamins and supplements that are high quality in my thing. I'm good. I don't need it. Thank you. I appreciate it. So how I answer that question is I take a look again at that supplementation versus activation, because this is huge. So let's look at that. When I coach, in regards to your health and your well-being from that kind of functional medicine point of view, where you're looking at all aspects of health, really contributing to the bottom line of our overall health, I am looking at, I'm coaching to tell people, consume foods, please, rich in proteins and amino acids, high in antioxidants and cruciferous foods, kales, broccolis, leafy greens, sulfur-rich foods. All of these are really important to, again, we can actually activate through our foods, but we just can't do enough. Antioxidants is another key area where I always, just remind people that we were taught, 15, 20 years ago, antioxidant this, antioxidant that. It's in our skincare systems. It's in our, our body lotions. It's in our, this vitamin C, that vitamin C. Well, we can definitely support our system, and I want you to the degree that you can actually add to your diet is huge, and I don't want you to let go of that notion. However, let's take a look at the reality of it. The reality is we can't eat enough enough blueberries. We can't eat enough to actually put out the blazing fire of the sextillion amount of free radicals that are actually attacking us on a daily, guys. Sextillion. So it's like this 1-to-1 ratio. You eat a blueberry, you get it produces an antioxidant within our system and cancels out 1 free radical. Well, when you have sextillions, guess what? You have to consume quite a bit of food. I think it's like 375 oranges, 120, pounds of blueberries. I don't know, it's something like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's like putting out a blazing fire like this with a Dixie cup of water. So that's why I talk about activation and not supplementation as our only means to helping our bodies feel and look our best. Because ultimately, feeling and looking our best is really gonna change biochemically what's going on with our body, and we're going to do more and do our best. So this is our Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. It is these 5 herbs that I've talked about: turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, ashwagandha, all of these guys. And like I said, these taken alone actually affect our body's ability to make our own antioxidants by like 3%. Some are actually low. They don't do anything in regards to antioxidants. But when you synergistically blend them in this patented formula that Dr. McCord discovered and came out with in like 2005, we realized that it actually affects our body's ability to access and activate that pathway, but it's 1,800 times higher than if taken individually. And that is what got me that evening when I listened to the science behind it. So along with reducing our oxidative stress, we definitely see that we are boosting our bodies with antioxidants, like we've been mentioning. It's like a little pyramid. We find that superoxide dismutase is at the top, catalase is in the middle, and then glutathione. Those are the three at the top of the antioxidant chains, which are huge. Increased significantly. Glutathione, which is our master antioxidant, is actually increased by 300%. So it's not, we're supplementing our bodies. We're not taking something. We're telling our bodies to please make it the way that it was supposed to before we started aging. So immensely, immensely huge in the breakthrough of medical science and food and nutrition and helping us. So I like to mention that I can't tell you what this is going to do in your body. I can't tell you that it's going to do this, or it's going to take away that, or it's going to make you feel this way. What I can tell you, though, is that it's going to go in naturally. Our body's going to assimilate it, and it's going to turn on that ability for your body to upregulate and both downregulate whatever it is that you need to come into balance, into harmony, to help to reduce that inflammation so that we can get to that healthier state of being. It helps us to repair and rejuvenate, slows down the aging process. We talked about antioxidants. We are turning on that ability and making 1 million antioxidants per second to actually combat that blazing fire like we talked about earlier. So, and it's the only dietary supplement proven to extend our median lifespan. That is huge. I want to live longer, and I want to live in health longer. So, going back to oxidative stress, we know that over 250 illnesses and diseases actually are affected by oxidative stress. That's at the core root of oxidative stress. So you can actually go on what is known as pubmed.gov. It's like a library for anyone really, but doctors often reference whatever it is that they're researching to help their clients out, their patients out. So you can type in oxidative stress, ADHD, type in oxidative stress and gout, rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, some of the things that might be coming at you personally, type it in and see how it's related. I can't even begin to tell you the number of actually reports on there. So it's amazing when we can reduce this oxidative stress by our all natural product. These are some of the people that have actually done the studies and the reports on our product alone. Guys, in a supplemental world, this is never, very rarely, if any, heard of where there's studies by these large institutions and universities that have actually said, oh, NRF2, I'm going to study that because that's huge. I'll show you in a second. And basically, they have to report a study, a finding. They actually have to send it to another set of doctors who have to find the same finding, and then it can be published. We have 26 peer-reviewed studies on that NRF2 product, flagship product alone. That is huge. So don't take our word for it. Look it up, do your research, ask your doctor. We have papers that you can take to them if need be. And definitely get back with the person, because we've learned so much and really diving into this amazing breakthrough. And talk about breakthrough, this is what one of the studies and research papers showed, is that Washington State University said NRF2 activation is potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthroughs in the history of medicine. That was in 2015, guys. So we're doing awesome being at the forefront of nutrigenomics. I have to always add this in because this is by one of our over 2,000 medical professionals that we have in LifeVantage that have really seen the light and are helping more people now in their practices than they could on a one-to-one basis, because they're really getting at the root cause of a lot of these illnesses and problems. We are no longer supplementing our deficiencies. We are no longer chasing our tails. We are literally activating our pathways to control the aging and healing processes. Dr. Brett Brimhall. So we talked about activating and the NRF2 pathway. Real quickly, let's go into what's also known as the NRF1 pathway, okay? So again, all natural products here. We're looking at all these natural ingredients, and what that does is it's helping to support our mitochondria. So mitochondria, I don't think, oh, I do have that slide. Mitochondria actually is like the powerhouse. It's like the engine of our cells. So it actually produces 95% of our body's energy. So guess what? When we start to age, we start to, our mitochondria actually still reproduces like it's meant to do, but it reproduces on what I call like a lesser mana, you know, lesser vibration or lesser vibrancy. And so when it reproduces, we just kind of get more and more sluggish. We tend to find that brain fog, you know, hits us in the middle of the day. You know, we might need a nap. Going back to this slide, what our Protandim NRF1 does is it helps to support that mitochondrial dysfunction, bring up the level of vibrancy and energy in our mitochondria. We're actually known to be 10% of our body weight is mitochondria. That's how huge that it is within our body. It increases our ATP, which is our cellular energy like we're talking about. But what I feel that has improved the most in my life is my sleep quality. Guys, I was sleep deprived probably for a good 5 years, you know, because before baby was born, and then of course, you know, baby slept with me, still is sleeping with me, and I could not get a good night's rest. I almost felt guilty the first night that I had 6 hours deep rest restorative sleep. So, and of course it supports cognitive and brain health and circulatory and cardiovascular systems. So this is another huge area when we're talking about the theory of aging. And our last theory of aging is actually the NAD. So NAD is relatively new to the science world and hitting, you know, the mainstreams of what's being talked about in the diet, nutrition, functional medicine worlds, you know, health worlds in particular. And what it is, again, our product is all natural. This is huge. And I know this is a little much on the scientific level, but follow me for a second. NAD is a molecule. It's found within our cells as well, okay, just like our mitochondria is. When these doctors did some research in and around why we're aging, instead of how to prevent aging is why we're aging, they studied actually caloric restriction. And I'm talking 500 to 800 calories a day for long periods of time. That is absolutely like frightening to me. Intermittent fasting alone is enough for me. So when they discovered that when a body went through that immense stress for a long period of time, guess what? The NAD production started to kick up in our body because our bodies did what? It went boop, boop, boop. We need to go into survival mode, survival mode. NAD, what in turn ended up feeding what we now know as a family of sirtuins. The sirtuins are known as like the CEO or the mom or the guardian angels of our cells, right? They go into our cells and actually can unravel, how's this? Unravel a strand of DNA, fix what's defunct, put it all back together, put the cell back intact, and then they vacuum out the outside as if they're tidying up the cell, send it on its happy little way. Again, the Dr. Sinclair, who did a lot of study around this, hopes to live to the age of 120. But live in a 56-year-old body and mind. I mean, that is huge. And he's actually reported that his blood work shows that he's turned back the clock by 10 years physically. So this is huge. You can obviously see what it supports. What I love to bring out in for a mom, especially during this COVID time, is it supports positive mood and motivation. Whoop, whoop. So we all need a little bit more of that. I definitely, we have some pro athletes on our team that are taking this, finding that their recovery for their cellular recovery after huge workout camps are increasing immensely. You know, it's just the testimonies go on and on. So talking about testimonies, we do a testimony call and we just, you know, invite certain people to it. So please ask to be invited to it every Wednesday at 12 noon Hawaii time. It'll almost every time bring you to tears. It's very moving to hear how other people's lives have been affected by these 3 theories of aging. So guys, at the end of the day, we're talking about aiding our body, antioxidants, immune boosting, and detoxifying our bodies. Those are 3 key elements to really bringing our health and life back up to speed. So, oops, that got in there at the end. So again, like I had mentioned before, at the end of the day, this is what we want to live with. We want to live with joyful memories. We want to live with healthy memories, and we want to live with loving memories, because all of that is invaluable. What's also invaluable, if this equals our health, is actually investing in our health. So this is one way that we can do it. I love to show this. This is our product line. It's very meek in comparison to other companies, but it targets all aspects of our health. So we talked about the Tri-Synergizer. We definitely take that, our gut health, very seriously. We take our gut health actually seriously into our weight management system, our brain health as well. Nootropics is definitely something that you can look up or ask the person that has invited you. It's all about protecting the brain and giving us back our smart energy. We're talking about healthcare in regards to our largest organ, which is our skin and our hair. So we've taken that same science and put it into our skincare system and our hair care system. So we're actually activating in and around those targeted areas. And then of course, our pets are a huge part of our hearts opening and our families. And so anything that breathes oxygen really benefits from reducing oxidative stress. And so we don't leave our pets out. And we have a whole nother call that we do monthly on just pets alone. How do you get started? This is how. The Protan that we talked about, the Tri-Synergizer, all three of those products that we mentioned today, when you subscribe and save to that monthly subscription, because the doctors on our team really have figured out that please give it a month for every decade that you've been alive. Give your body a chance to assimilate something new. Just like we're creating a new habit, and they say it takes 30 days. 30 days is a minimum. You want to at least try to get it into your system to allow your body to really do what it's going to do with it. Because like I said, can't tell you what it's going to do in your body. Your body needs to upregulate and downregulate, coming back into balance. When you take $127.99 and you divide it by 30 days roughly, you're getting about $4.17 per day. That, I think, guys, hands down, should be something that you should budget into your life. But that's my perspective. This is something that, you know, I feel strongly about, and I feel that it's affordable. And I'd rather cut out that Starbucks coffee, or I'd rather cut out that whatever extra it is in my life to really to invest, so that again it's going to show up day after day, life after life, year after year. Ooh, life after life. I like that one. Another way that we can bundle and save, and I love mentioning this because we're not always thinking of only ourselves, we're thinking of our loved ones, is we can bundle and save by starting on one of these starter kits. So we have kits that can get you started at $350, $650, or $1250. Guys, these are almost 30% savings when you get up to that that $1250 kit. Not only is that at least a 3 to 4 month supply for you and your family, if that's all you want it for, but we also, in each kit, we give you a starter pack so that you can share with loved ones, because 60% of our customers end up wanting to share and pass on this lovely information. And, you know, whether or not if that's something of interest to you, we definitely have a way that you can start to share today, because our company is always rapidly growing and expanding. We're in almost 24 countries right now, and we're always looking for motivated individuals. So if you want to join our team, please ask us how, because we can't do this alone. There's billions of people praying on their knees for some information such as this, to really get back to that first screen where we're just changing our lifestyles. So I know that I went a little bit over time. I hope that certainly helped to give you a broad overview of our story, and it will probably evolve as I go on. But does anybody have any questions? Or and if not, you know, please get back to somebody who has invited you. We always like to have invite, you know, others to really, you know, have a couple people on the phone, so that all aspects of life, you know, I see it in a different way, Sarah sees it in a different way, Nina sees it in a different way, and we can all share from our testimonies, and we'd be happy to share and answer questions that may come up for you. So, all right, guys. Everybody got the wear black memo. Thank you. Oh, Nina's our angel over there. Nice. Juxtaposition is always good. All right, you guys, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for being on, and aloha no. Yay.